Okay.
So yesterday we saw about the security and sharing features in Salesforce, right? We saw overview. Today, let's see in practical whatever we saw yesterday. So as I said, before starting, we are going to create. We would be requiring two users. One user will be yourself, and we are going to create another user with the Salesforce license and with your new profile, which is lesser than system administrator. So here. From your setup website, you go to let's type in users. Under manage users, click on users. It will take you to this page. This is where you will create new user and you can view already existing users in your organization. So for now I have two users, Ganesh and Rajesh. So now we are going to create a new user. So this is how you create a user. So just type in. So I have filled in the mandatory details. And as I said yesterday, license and profile are mandatory. So you will have to choose any license which is available. So for now, you will have to select Salesforce, but for me, it will not be usable. Why? Because I have already used two licenses, one for myself and another for another user. As I have used two licenses, it will not be available. It will not allow me to select, one more Salesforce license. But when you choose from your org, it will allow you to, select one more Salesforce license. So please choose Salesforce and profile. We will have to create a new profile. Okay. So remaining details are not okay, it could be left added as it is because all the remaining mandatory details would have been filled by itself. So only these details are mandatory. So as I said, any user who wishes to log into Salesforce need to have one profile, and which goes without saying like he inevitably needs to have one license in Salesforce. Then only he would be able to access the R2. Okay. So now we are going to create one more new user with Salesforce license and a new profile. So how to create one profile? From settings, click on profiles. It will take you to this page. So here if you see, click on new profile. So it will ask from which profile you want to clone it. As I said yesterday, you cannot create profile from the scratch in Salesforce. Always you have to clone it from the existing profiles. So from which profile are we going to clone it? System administrator. So search for system administrator, select that and name the profile which you wish to uh, give for the custom profile which we are going to create now. So I'm just giving your name itself as I have many profiles in my arm. So click on save. See here, so this is how you create one profile. We have created a new custom profile called System Admin Dilanta and we have cloned it from System Administrator. It is a custom profile which was created by myself and it will show my time and my date, IST date. If you come down, these are all the factors or things which are controlled by profile. Page layouts, field level security, custom application settings, connected app. So connected app, what do you mean by connected app? If you see, these are all the third party tools or applications from which you can access Salesforce. So for example, Workbench is one tool wherein which you would be able to access or query the metadata details of Salesforce and this SOQL query. You can frame SOQL query using Workbench. So Salesforce one for Android, one for iOS. You hope you know, right? The Salesforce one application which you are going to use. So from that application you are going to access the org. So if this profile for system administrator, if you see, so for any third-party user who wishes to access the org, this needs to be enabled by default. By default, system administrator will have access. But for any other third-party user, you need to enable all this so that he would have access to, through that application, he can access Salesforce. That is the meaning, connected application. Okay, custom application in the sense, what are the custom applications which you create in your org, and field level security is all the fields which you are going to, which you have in your Salesforce org. The same way, custom object page layouts I meant to explain. I will be doing that. So tab, what tab a user wishes to see. In always in profile, first standard things will come. After that, custom tabs or custom objects, everything will come. So next is record type. I am also able to explain what is record type. For now, just remember like profile controls record type also. Next, administrative permissions. This is what I was saying. So modify all data, whether you can modify all the data, view all users, uh, view setup and configuration. If you disable this one, this setup will not be visible. The setup will not be visible. Okay. So this is where it controls that setup and configuration details. Next, general user permissions, whether you can activate other users and how to view access to other users, importing the leads, contacts, editing the reports, viewing my team dashboard or other team's dashboard, sending mass emails. All these things will be accessed here. So managing the leads, transferring cases, transferring leads, all these are come under your sales cloud, service cloud. So whether you can edit the task or edit the topic, all these are task, edit topic, events are all Salesforce standard objects. Okay. Next comes here standard object permissions. So as I said yesterday, every object will have create, read, edit, and delete. Apart from that, they have given view all and modify all. Okay. By default for system administrator, if you see, all would be enabled. Yesterday we said that we saw like system administrator alone will have access to everything, right? Why? Because by default this will be enabled for them. This view all, modify all will be enabled for them. If this is enabled for any object, then it will supersede all the security and sharing features on Salesforce. Do you understand? So if you enable this view all and modify all for any particular object, then all the security and sharing features, all let it be your profile permission set or record level uh, security, all features, it will be superseded. So everything will be visible. So nothing will come into effect. None of the Salesforce and security features will be in effect if you enable this one. So in the real time, except system administrator, for none of the other profiles or for none of the other users, this view or modifier should not be enabled. Okay, if it is enabled, then it is of no use of your profile, permission set, OWD, role hierarchy, or manual sharing rules. Nothing will come into effect. This will supersede everything, and everything he can see everything in that particular object. View all in the sense he can view all the records. Modify all is he can edit all the records which has been provided in this particular record object. Okay, so as we have created the profile from system administrator, this view all and modify all would be enabled. So why we are saying for a system administrator everything is visible, because this view all and modify all will be enabled for all objects. See here. And even if we try editing this also, it will not allow us to change, because this is the standard profile. What I said always, in Salesforce, you cannot delete the standard things which are provided by Salesforce. In profiles, you cannot even edit the standard things which are given by Salesforce. See here, this is the system administrator profile which Salesforce has given. It is actually read-only. I cannot do any changes. If you wish to do any change, you will have to clone it. You have to clone it from this profile, create a new profile, and in that profile, do all the changes, make all the changes, and provide that created a custom profile to the user. That way only you can do, but you cannot change anything in the standard profile which are provided by Salesforce. Okay. So now this is the standard system administrator profile which was provided by Salesforce. Now if you see, this is the profile which we have created. Here we are going to make all the changes. External object, as I said, like if you have any table outside of your Salesforce org, that would be given here. For testing purpose, I have tried connecting two tables from the one of the third-party open source cloud databases that were products and suppliers, which is showing here. So next, if you see session settings, how many hours your session timeout settings I said right yesterday. Recently, in the recent release, Salesforce has introduced this password policies, login as from which login, uh, from which time your employees can log into Salesforce. What are the login IP ranges during which it can, you could give some IP ranges, and through those IP ranges only people can log into Salesforce. Why? Because like there is a chance this being cloud, there is a chance for anybody to provide access, right? What if like I can give my organization's org details to you, and through your system you would be able to access. So how can they restrict the stay in the profile at the profile level? They would give my system. They had given their company laptop. They can give the IP address of that laptop and they define it in the profile. And if that profile has been assigned to me, then only through that IP range only it will allow me to log into Salesforce. Other than that, if some other person is going to log in, it will not allow. So those kinds of restrictions and all, you can do it. So next comes Apex class and Visual Force page. So this is what I was saying. Everything completely from the scratch. So if you wish to control all the things which we saw yesterday, profile controls all these things. Okay. So this is the custom profile which we created. We are going to assign this profile to the user, second new user which we are trying to create. So using that, I have created a new user called Rajesh. Okay, see here, I have created a new user called Rajesh with all these details, and I am trying to create role is none. For now, we are going to keep the role as none for both myself and Rajesh. See here, if I try to edit my user details, it will not allow me to change the license or system administrator. This is the again standard functionality of Salesforce. No system admin can change their own profile and license. It has to be changed by some other system administrator. For example, if you are a system administrator in my org, then you can edit my user details and I can edit your user details. But in Salesforce, no system administrator can change their own details. This is not a restriction in developer org, it is a restriction in across all orgs. Even if you, across all orgs, in the sense from your developer to your unlimited edition, it applies, the same restriction applies. Okay. So now I'm going to, I have provided all these details like the new user which we have created here the same way. Why I'm taking this is because as I have used the Salesforce license already, it is not allowing me to select here, right? So only I'm trying, if you provide license only, it will enable, it will show the corresponding profiles for that license. Because when we have created the profile, see here, it has we have selected the license to be a Salesforce. So now if when you are creating users, it will check where if you select based on the license only, your profiles will change accordingly. So now for the second user, our second user is Rajesh. Okay, and the license is Salesforce. Now if you see next, what is the system admin? See here, system admin Delata. This is the profile which we have created, right? See here, system admin Delata. This was the profile which we have created. So I am going to give that profile to this user, new user, and click on save. Okay. Now there are two users, Ganesh, myself with Salesforce license and system administrator profile. Let me make my role also as none for now. So now there are two users, Ganesh, Rajesh. One with Salesforce license and system administrator profile, standard profile, and second user with Salesforce license and the custom profile which we have created now using cloning from system administrator. Now both have same level of access. Why? Because we have cloned it from system administrator, right? So whatever the access system administrator has, now this profile also will have. This profile in the sense this user also will have the same level of access like Ganesh or like system administrator. Why? Because we have cloned it from system administrator exactly the same, and we have not made any changes and assigned the same to the second user. Okay. So now if the first user or second user both of them log in, they will be able to see the same kind of setup which they are able to see now. So now what we are going to do is we are going to make changes in this profile. In this profile we are going to make the changes and we are going to log in as this user. We are going to log in as this user in another browser and we are going to make all the changes. Ganesh is going to make all the changes for this profile, and when we try logging in as Rajesh in another browser, how changes are being affected we are going to see in practical. Okay. Before that, we are yesterday I was saying like I would be giving what I would be telling about what license exactly is, right? So license, if you see, if you click on your from settings, if you click on from settings, if you click on company information, it will show all the company details of your whatever the login details which you gave when you are signing up. Those details it will show. If you drill down, it will show the licenses, user licenses count. So see here, it will show Salesforce license. For me, I have there are available. I have so told like in Gangboard there are only two licenses you can available. So I have used both the license, one for myself and another for Rajesh. So as I have used two license, it will show as it will show in the company information used licenses two remaining zero. But for you, when you check in your org, it will show as total as two, used as one, and remaining as one, because only one license we have used, and that would be yourself. Okay. Next, if you see, these are all the licenses which Salesforce provides for free when you buy the license. When you buy one license of this, the remaining license will get added up accordingly. So what is the need for these licenses? If you see, Salesforce license is costly, right? So what if so what is the need of the Salesforce license? If you see, this is the superior license. So if you provide this license, they would be able to access all this sales related objects. This campaign, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities are there, right? So if you provide Salesforce license, then only they would be able to access this sales related objects. Okay. So if at all in your company, if any employee or any user wishes to have access to any of the sales related objects, then they should be given Salesforce license, which is the superior license. The remaining license and all are less access licenses provided for free by Salesforce once you get this license. So what is the need? Why should they provide these Salesforce free licenses? If you see, there might be a need in your company wherein which they don't require access for sales objects. Because for example, let's assume like in your company there is a sales team wherein which there are 10 members. So you have bought 10 licenses and you have assigned those licenses to those 10 sales people. It is done. Now you are they are using the Salesforce and having got acquainted and comfortable with Salesforce, they are trying to create one application for HR department. Okay, like what you are doing parallelly, you are developing an application for HR department, and in HR department there are 10 more people. Okay, so application development has been completed. Now those 10 people in your HR department needs to have access to the application which you have created, the custom application HR which you have created. For this application alone, that HR department people needs to have access. So HR department, they need to have access only to this application. They don't require access to your sales application, right? So in this scenario, already 10 licenses has been already used by your Salesforce team. Now, how would be you be able to give HR application access alone to those 10 people? So again, you have to approach Salesforce, get 10 more Salesforce licenses, and then assign those licenses to those 10 HR people, so that they would be able to access that HR application. Then in the profile level, you would be controlling that sales application. You will be disabling it and giving access only to HR application. So for this scenario only, they have provided this kind of extra licenses. So these HR people, they don't require access to sales application. So you can provide the license called the Force.com app subscription. Okay. Using this license is used for if you develop any custom application in your org. Using this license, you can give access to those people, so that they would be able to log into Salesforce and access that particular application alone. So for our example, now that HR people alone, they need to access this application alone, right? So now what can you do is you don't need to again approach Salesforce and buy extra licenses. So as these people, they're not going to access sales objects. They need only access to this application, right? So you can create one user with this license, Post.com app subscription, Post.com app subscription, this license, and you can create a profile where in which they have access only to this application, and you can assign it to them, and so that they would be able to access the particular application for this scenario only. The same way Salesforce platform, if you see, I told about App Exchange, right? So the third-party applications, developer applications will be available here. A one-stop shop place where in which all the developer applications will be available. So what if there are certain group of users in your company where they are going to access only this particular app exchange, third-party applications alone they are going to access. They are neither going to use your standard sales application provided by Salesforce or the custom applications which you have developed, but they will be daily accessing the third-party applications. For example, for instance, in my earlier client, if you see, there is a set of people who were using only a third-party tool called Aptus. So that is actually an application which is used for contract signing exclusively, which is a paid tool in your app exchange. So daily there is a group of people like 1,000 users, they would be accessing only that application. So for those 1,000 users alone, we would have given Salesforce platform, because they are going to use Salesforce as just a platform to access the third party application. So for them, you can provide this license. Okay. And there is one more thing called customer community, partner communities and all. So customer portal, customer community portal, partner app subscription, all these are communities. So communities is again a concept which was earlier it was portal, now they have changed it to communities. So what is a portal, what is a community, everything we would be seeing it. So if you want to provide an isolated environment, I would have told already, I think. So I am a third-party supplier or a vendor who is occasionally supplying a non-prime product to you. So I will not even come. I have told. I remember telling you this when I was explaining about the different clouds available inside Salesforce, right? So community cloud. So what is the need for? What is a community cloud? What is the need for significance of community cloud? So if I am a third-party supplier supplying a non-prime product to your company, I will not even be under your payroll. I am a third-party. I'm coming under third-party payroll. So there is no need for you to create one user in Salesforce. Salesforce license is costly. Already you are running short of Salesforce licenses itself. So for your company employees itself, then how can you provide an access to a third-party supplier like me? Then in that case, you could make use of this licenses. All these are temporary solutions. For if you provide using this license, you can create a community, and for that community, that would be an isolated environment from your org, where in which I would be able to access everything. So then if you can question me, if there is Salesforce has provided an option like this, where in which here itself community people can be given access to communities, then why is the need for community cloud, you can question. Again, there they have given some checks. Here there are some restricted functionalities will only work here, and there in community cloud they are providing access fully, where in which certain features like from the community itself, if you are discussing something about some product from community cloud itself, they are making it to place an order like an e-commerce website. They are making all the functionalities integrated into the community cloud. In the recent releases, they are making it happen, and the Salesforce is marketing in such a way that you can place an order in the from the community cloud itself. So all these are the remaining licenses which are available. If you provide charter free license to an user, they would be able to access only the charter object. Every day they will log in, they will use this charter alone, they will be using. My earlier client, there were some 1,000 users for whom they were given provided access using this license. So if you ask them what is Salesforce, it is a charter tool which is used for chatting. They'll say so. All that they know is only to chat. If this would be useful for them, if you see like the left side, only charter application will be enabled for them. So every day, see here, Salesforce charter is there, right? So if you provide this license to them and create a profile and assign it to them, every day they will be able to log in and they will be given access only to this application. So every day they will come and they will come here. They will chat with the people. They log off. So like this, based on your company employees or enterprises, Salesforce users demand, you can make use of the Salesforce platform without having to, again and again buy some extra licenses. You can make use of. So that is actually the main intent of this providing extra licenses. So if you buy one Salesforce license, all the remaining licenses will get added up. If you buy some 10 license, accordingly the remaining licenses will get added up. Okay. So for our instance, we are going to use Salesforce license. One is yourself, and the second is the here. So here, now one is myself, Ganesh, with Salesforce license and profile as system administrator, and the second user is Rajesh with the Salesforce license and with the profile which we have created from cloning it from the system administrator. So now both users will have same level of access as we have cloned from system administrator, and we have not made any changes. We are yet to make changes. Okay. So with having done this, from one org, I am going from in one side. See here, in Chrome, I have logged in as Ganesh. Okay, and in from another browser, I am logging in as Rajesh. That another browser is your. I'm sharing the screen. 1 second. So see here, I have logged in as Rajesh in the second user. From this browser, I have logged in as Rajesh, and in my Chrome browser, I have logged in as Ganesh. Okay, Ganesh is the system administrator, and Rajesh is the uh, system administrator Delanta profile, which is less superior than system administrator. So now, as I said, we cannot do any changes in the standard profile, right? So now we are going to make all the changes in this profile. In the system admin Delanta profile which we have created, I am going to make the changes and I am going to see whether it is affecting the other profile or not. Okay. Now for now both will have same level of access. See here, they will be having Rajesh. If you go and see, they will be having access to all these applications. This is Ganesh, right? So check here, Ganesh is having access to all applications. The same way I am sharing the screen of Rajesh. and let's check his access. And he will also have the same level of access which Rajesh has. I mean Ganesh has. See here, he is also having the same level of access like Ganesh. So now for example, let's take HR application. Okay, this was the application which we created, right? This was the application which we created. So now here in security, what we saw: application level security, tab level security, object level security, field level security, correct? So now first let's start with application. So this is the application which we are going to take it as example. Inside that, let's take employee object, its tab and its fields. Fine. So now, okay, now Rajesh is also able to see that application. If we check Ganesh, Ganesh is also able to see that particular application. If we check Ganesh, Ganesh is also able to see that particular application. So now what we are going to see is Ganesh is going to change the second user, Rajesh profile. In his profile, he is going to make some changes. Where he is going to make some changes, come down in the application, in the custom application settings. First, let's start with application level security. So here, HR, I'm disabling. Sorry, I'm disabling the custom application HR, and I'm saving it. Where the second user profile, I am making the changes. After making the changes, if I go and check for Rajesh, now if you go and refresh and see, now see here, now that application itself is not visible for Rajesh because we have disabled his access, that application access in his profile. So when he tries to log in and when he sees, he will not be able to see that particular application itself. In the same way, if we disable all other applications, he will not be able to see. But that application, if Rajesh, if Ganesh goes and sees, it will be visible. Ganesh see, it is visible. But for Rajesh, it is not visible. Why? Because at the profile level, we have disabled his level of access for that particular application. Okay. So this is application level security. Now, if we disable all other applications and provide access only to that particular application, and save it. Now, if we go and see, say here, in the left side, that application menu itself will not be visible. He is having access only to that application, HR application alone he has access because we have provided like that. Okay, this is how you control an application. I don't write in real time, only system administrators will have access to everything, but all other remaining users, they will have access only to that application which they are using. So now if Rajesh logs in, every day he would be able to see only this particular HR application and these four objects alone they will be. So he would be thinking Salesforce to be an HR application. Every day he logs into Salesforce for making all the HR related activities. So that is what his intention or his perception will be about Salesforce. Okay, so this is actually application level security. So using profiles, you can control what application user can see and cannot see everything. So now we have controlled the second user Rajesh's access for HR application alone using his profile. Okay. Next, if you see, so this is actually application level security. So next, what I'm going to see inside application, inside that particular application, if you see, like both have access to all four objects, right? Employee, PF, payslip, junction object. Correct. So what I'm saying is like, okay, let both have access to HR application, but they should have access only to employee object alone. It should not be. We are going to disable the access for the employee object for the second user. So how can you do that? Go to his profile, click on edit. Okay, come down. First standard objects will come. Next, your custom objects will come. So there, search for the object name. So here it is coming like employee leave, right? So disable that. So see here, once you disable this payslip also is going up. Have you noticed? I'll again do.
Yeah, payslip is child. You have a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. You are correct. So why? Because like payslip is a master detail relationship actually. So in with your employee. So whatever the security and sharing of the parent, it will be automatically inherited by the child, right? So once I disable this master security access, automatically the child also will go off. Okay. So now in the second user profile, I am making the access. I am removing full access. So now if we try saving this profile, and when Rajesh logs in, and if you once refresh the page and see, so now see here, only PF is visible. Employee and payslip have gone off. We have disabled only employee, but automatically payslip has also gone off. Why? Because they are in master detail relationship. So in master detail relationship only, whatever automatically the security and sharing of the parent will be inherited. If you disable the parent, automatically child will go off. If you enable the parent, automatically the child will also be restored to back. So now as we have disabled the parent, child also has gone. So this is what Rajesh will see when he logs in. But actually, but Ganesh, if he tries to when he logs in, he would be able to see everything, all objects will be visible to him. Why? Because in his profile for that particular object he has been provided access. So he would be able to do all actions, but Rajesh will not be able to do. So object level security. Okay. So okay, fine. So I wish to give in the object level. I want to give access to the application and to the object. Okay. I want to give access to the application. I am giving only read only access alone. I am giving. Fine. So as I said, view all and modify all. It should not be enabled for any profile. In real time, if you go and check for any other profiles other than system administrator, this view all and modify all will be disabled. If it is disabled only, all your other security and sharing features will come into effect. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I am providing only read only access alone to this employee object. Okay. And I am saving it. Fine. So now if Rajesh goes and says, see here, Ganesh is having access to everything. Now if he opens any record inside that particular object, he has access to edit, he can edit, delete and clone. Okay. But when Rajesh logs in, let's see what happens. See here, Rajesh does not have those three buttons. Edit, delete, and clone. It is not appearing for Rajesh. Why? Because we have given only read-only access, right? For the particular object, we gave only read access. So when Rajesh logs in, he would be able to only read the records and not do any other actions. So in this way, we have control. Now in this particular object, we have fields like name, phone, email, right? Phone, email, countries, states. So what I'm saying, let me give access to the application object, but inside that object, I wish to hide certain fields alone. I wish to hide phone and email fields from the second user. So how can I control that? So field level security. So let me go to Rajesh screen, Ganesh screen, go to the Rajesh profile and come down. Your field level security will be there. So first standard objects will come. Next come drill down for custom objects. There search for the object name. You have two things. So we don't know like for which one is exactly our object. So let's go and check. So if you see we have regions in India, states. So this is not our object, correct? So this if you check this, these are all the fields. This is our object. So click on edit, and I wish to hide phone and email. So disable those two and click on save. Okay. Now if you come and check for you can Rajesh logs in, and now if he goes to that particular object and he clicks on any record and opens it, see here he would not be able to see those fields, employee, countries, and states. So phone and email has been hidden. It is not showing for Rajesh. But when Ganesh logs in, he would be able to see all the fields. Why? Because from the profile level, we have disabled the field level access for Rajesh for this particular object. So he is not able to see them. So application level security, object level security, field level security. Next is your tab level is there, right? So if we go and in the profile, if we click on edit and come down, and you will have tab settings. So here for the employee object, if you search for, here see here default on. So default on in the sense it will be whenever you click on the application, soon after you all the objects and its related tabs will pop up. It will be linked with your application. So that is default on. Okay. So now if you default off, if you select, it will not be available. Once even after you click on the application, it will not be available here, but there is one plus symbol here, right? So if you click on this one, here all the available tabs, all the objects tabs will be available here. In here are what are all the objects available, all those tabs will be it will be shown here. So if you in the profile level, if you keep it as default off, then it will not show up here, but you can go and search here and find, and then you can do it. Okay. But if you, there is one more option called tab hidden. If you give this option, it will not be available here. Also, it will not be available here. It will be completely hidden from your whole org itself. So this is how you can control a tab using profile. So now by default it is default on. So when Rajesh is able to see the particular tab for that object. So now what we would do is we could let's make it as default off, and let's see how it is working for you know Rajesh. So let's go and see for Rajesh. If we go and see here that employee tab, it is not showing here, right? So now if we go and search in all tabs, here we will be able to go search and get them. See here it is visible. So we can go search there and then get those records. Only read-only access we get. So only read-only access has been provided to the particular object. This is actually default off. Okay. Next, if you see, let's try with the tab hidden. Also, let's see and how things are working for that also. Next, we should select tab hidden and then click on save. Now, if we go and check for values, earlier it was visible here, right? Earlier it was visible here. Now, if we go and check here, so now see, let's go and check. See here, it will not be available. This is some other object. This is not our object. So it is completely hidden from everywhere. So that is actually your tab hidden. So this is how you can control a tab in your uh, using profile level. So application level security, object level security, field level security, tab level security, everything using profile, how to control we have seen. The same way for page layouts, record types also you can do. The same way enabling disabling in your profile, it will control in the all the other access. So once I explain about page layout, record type, if you come and change here, you will be disabling. So now in general permission, in administrative permissions, if you disable this functionality, that setup will not be visible in the same way. So standard objects we have seen, custom objects we have seen, and the same way login as login IP range, session time, password policies. For any Apex class, if you wish to give access, does not give access if you do that automatically. For that particular class alone, they will not be having access. So all these things are being controlled by your profile. Okay, now we have seen what are profile controls. Next comes your permission set, right? So what is a permission set? Permission set is an extension of your profile. So you can extend the profile, right? So how can you extend the profile access if you see? At the object level, we have given only read-only access, correct? So now we are going to create one permission set, and in that permission set for this particular object, we are going to provide all access, create, edit, and delete, and assign that permission set to the second user, Rajesh. So this user, we are going to assign that permission set. Okay, and let's check how things are getting affected. For now, the Rajesh has only read-only access. We saw, right? So now we are going to create one permission set and provide the remaining permissions and assign that permission to this user and check how whether he has got that permission or not. Okay. So now how to create a permission set? If you see, go to setup. On the left side, just type in permission set. Under administer manage users, permission sets will come. Just type in there. So click on new. Give name for your permission set. Then you will have to select for what license you are trying to access. We are doing it for Salesforce license. Right? Just click on Salesforce license, and now it will take you to this object. So here, go to object settings. Now it will show all the available objects in your org. So go to our object, employee. Now if you see no access has been provided, right? So go there, click on the particular object, click on edit. Now provide, read, create, edit, and delete. Click on save. So for that particular object alone, I am providing extra level of access using this permission set called permission set delata. Okay, now we have created the permission set. Now we have to assign this permission set to this user. So where to go and assign the permission set? Just to go to users, go to that user and come down. If you come down, there will be one area called permission set assignments will be there. Okay, already I have assigned one permission set. So let's delete that. So now for the second user, there is no permission set. So let's check before providing the permission. At the profile level, we have given only read-only access. We have created one permission set and we are going to assign the permission set, correct? So before assigning, let's go and check for Rajesh, what level of access does he have. So now if you go and check, we have hidden the tab, right? So let's first enable the tab level settings. Okay, we have Rajesh has only read-only access. So at the profile level, we have given only that, correct? So now we have created one permission set, and in that permission set for this particular object alone, we have given extra level of access. So now we are going to assign that permission set here. Click on edit assignments and search for the permission set which we have created.
Yeah, only.
Where
Permission set belongs to
I am not able.
Rajesh.
Yeah, here it is there. Okay, so this was the permission set which we created. So just click on this, click on save. So now we have assigned for the second user, we have assigned the permission set. So after this, if we go and check for Rajesh, so now see here, Rajesh has got full access. Edit, delete and clone. Okay. So why? Because of that particular permission set, that extra permission has been added. So this is about your permission set. It's an extension of your profile. So if you want to provide any extra level of access to any particular user for a temporary period or for an extended period, you can create that particular permission set, give that extra level of access and assign that permission set to that particular user so that he will have extra level of access. So in the profile level for that particular object, we have given only read-only access, and with the user permission set, we have extended the permission of editing and deleting and clone. Okay. So this is your about your profile and permission set. Using profile and permission set, you can control till field, application, object, tab, feed, page layout, record types, visual portrait, effects class, all these things you can control. So next comes record level security. If you see here, employee object, go, if you give, there are two records. All these two records are created by Ganesh. Created by Ganesh. See, Ganesh is, we are now logged in as Ganesh. So when Ganesh sees the record, all these two records are created by Ganesh. So he is the record owner. So this makes sense because he is the record owner and he is able to see. But have you have you checked when Rajesh logs in, he is also able to see these two records, Delanta Ganesh. But these two records were created by Ganesh, right? But Rajesh is also able to see, correct? So next comes record level security. To start with, the base in record level security is OWD, etc. Organization by default. So By default, for any particular object, any custom object which you create in Salesforce, the OWD will be public read or write. There are four types of OWDs I said, right? Private, public read or write, and controlled by parent. So always it should be private. In real time, for any object, if you check, it would be private, it will be private, it should be private. Then only the remaining things will come into effect. But see here, for now, but whatever records created by Rajesh is able to, sorry, whatever records created by Ganesh is able to see by Rajesh. Now if we create any record by Rajesh, Ganesh will be able to see. So Rajesh has created one record. Okay. Now if we go and check, now if if Ganesh goes and refreshes his page and see, it would be visible for him also. So whatever records created by home server is visible to everybody. Why? Because by default, for any custom object which you create in Salesforce, the OWD will be public read or write. Once it is public read or write, all will be able to see all the records. So we have to make it as private. If and only if we make it as private only, all the other remaining things will be come into picture. So it should be private. Once you make the OWD as private, only record owners will be able to see their particular records. Okay. Now let's go and see where to go and check for OWD. If you see on the left side in settings, just give sharing settings. So under administer, under sharing settings, click on this. First it will come as organization by default. Okay. Come down, search for our object, employee. If you see, the second employee is our employee. See here, it is public read or write. That's why whatever records created by Ganesh are able to see by Rajesh also. Now we are going to make it as private. So I got four things, right? That there, if you see here, there will be four certain things to controlled by parent. So controlled by parent in the sense your master detail relationship, the child objects and all, right? So they will have the OWD as controlled by parent. If the parent has private, child also will have private. If the parent has public, child also will have public. The same way. That is actually controlled by parent. So now here we are going to make this particular object as private. Let's see what happens once we make the OWD as private for this particular object. Okay. So now we have made the OWD as private. Now when Ganesh logs in, he is able to see the records created by him and by Rajesh also. Let's check for uh, Rajesh. When Rajesh logs in, if he refreshes and sees, so see here, he is able to see the record created by only him. Correct? Why? Because OWD is private. Have you seen, can you guess what would be the reason for this? When Rajesh logs in, he is able to see only his record. It's fine. Because OWD is private. If you make OWD as private for any particular object, only record owners will be able to see their particular record. So this record was created by Rajesh. When Rajesh logs in, he is able to see this particular record. Okay, OWD is working perfectly fine. Now when Ganesh logs in, he is able to see all the records created by him and by Rajesh also. Why that is the case? Even after we have made the OWD as for that particular object to be private, even after making it is actually private, it has not loaded correctly. We have made it as private. Even after making the, see here, we have made the object to be private. Even after the, when Ganesh is logs in, he is able to see all the records. Can you guess what would be the reason for this? Dilata, are you there?
Yeah, Ganesh. Yeah, Ganesh.
Yeah, can you guess, like, because we have made OWD as private, right? So even after then, Ganesh is able to see Rajesh records. Why is it so?
Okay.
As per our overview which we saw yesterday, and as per the theoretical explanation what has been provided by Salesforce, what if we make OWT as private, only record owners should be able to view their records. Now here if you see, for the first two records Ganesh is the owner, so he is able to see, no problem, fine. But for the third record Rajesh was the owner, but still Ganesh, if he logs in, he is able to see. Why? Because what I said, Ganesh is system administrator. So all system administrators will have access to everything. Why that is so? Again, there is one reason. Because in system administrator file, for all objects, that view all and modify all will be enabled. Correct? This view all and modify all will be enabled. So if you enable this, all your security and sharing features will be superseded, I said, right? So nothing will work. So as for Ganesh, system administrator profile, and for the profile, this particular object, it is view on and modify on is enabled. As this is enabled, Ganesh is able to see everything. So none of your Salesforce will work, like the OWD be private, or even if you provide a restriction above that also through coding, it is not possible actually. But even if you think like through coding, if you make any more restrictions beyond the private, also if you give, Ganesh should be able to see why, because he is a system admin, and for a system admin, all objects will have view on
Voice
modify.
is breaking.
Sorry,
Voice is breaking now.
no, I'm just checking. If you try to break it also, it will not work, I am saying, because for a view on modify all is
No,
enabled.
no, your voice is breaking.
Okay, okay. Is it fine now? I'm using speaker only. I'm speaking.
Are you close to the mic?
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you?
yeah. I'm close to the headset. Through headset only, I'm speaking, and uh, I'm every time I speak, I'm speaking to with having my mic in hand only. Is it okay?
Okay, okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, now it's fine. Okay.
Fine. So as view all and modify all is enabled for that particular object, Ganesh is able to see everything, and we cannot make any changes. I said right, because even if you try editing this, we cannot change the profile, and in profile also, the system administrator profile, we cannot do any changes for that particular object. We cannot make any changes. It is actually read only. Okay, so that is why Ganesh is able to see. So all system administrators will have access to everything. Now Ganesh being system administrator, he has access to all records. Okay, so OWD we have made it as private, so only record owners are able to see their particular record. So whatever records created by Rajesh are visible only to Rajesh. Correct? Fine. So next comes your role hierarchy. So role hierarchy, what I said, whomsoever is higher in your role, they would get access immediately. Correct. So if uh, you are higher in my role, if I am reporting to you, then or whatever records created by me would be visible to you. If I am higher in role to you, then whatever records created by you will be automatically shared with me. That is the main intention. Okay, yesterday we saw it. There would be, if there are two subordinates who are reporting to one manager, as OWT is private, record owners only will be able to see their particular records. So the subordinate associate 1 is creating one record, so he will be able to see that. Associate 2 is creating another record, so he will be able to see that. If the manager is not creating any record, then he will not be able to see anything. But in real time, all supervisors or managers, they should be, with all the works done by the immediate subordinates, it should be made visible. And that only makes sense, right? So because of that thing, this role hierarchy came into picture. So now if you see for Ganesh, there is no role. And for Rajesh also, there is no role. Okay. Now we are going to see create two new roles and assign it to these particular users. And we are going to make the role reported to another role. Okay. So now where to go and create role, if you see under settings, just click on roles. Under administer manage users, click on roles. You will have your company name, and under that you will have this thing. So under CEO, if you click on that, I would have created many rows. So now let's create a new role under CEO. Click on Add Role. So this and all will be available. These two things will be available for everybody. Even if you try to log in as, once you click on roles in this page, your company name will come. Whatever name you gave when you're signing up, that name will come here. So next is CEO. Any company will have CEO, CFO, CTO, everybody, right? So thinking having that in mind, they have given it as CEO. You can even edit and rename it this also. So now I'm clicking creating a new role under that CEO. Okay. So I'm creating a role called Delata Manager. Why? Because I have so many roles as manager. So just to differentiate, I'm creating with your name. So the first role which I'm creating is manager, and this role is reporting to CEO. Click on save. So this is how you create a role in Salesforce. Next, you have created a role. Now we have to assign people to this role, right? As for now, both Ganesh and Rajesh, if you see, they does not have any role. So now we are going to assign this particular role to Ganesh. Okay, click on edit. Sorry, click on assign users to role. So now here, after coming here, how to assign users, if you see, just click on all users, all the available users will come. So now I'm going to click on Ganesh and click on save. So we have created a role called Delata Manager and assigned Ganesh to this particular role. Okay, now if you go and check Ganesh, if you just refresh his page and see here, Delanta Manager role has been assigned to Ganesh. Okay, the same way we are going to create one more role for Rajesh. Go to roles, and now for this, earlier under CEO we created manager, right? So now what we are going to say is under Delanta Manager we are going to create one new role called executive. A role called executive we are going to create, and that role is reporting to manager, and the manager is reporting to CEO. Okay, now we have to assign users for this particular all users, and I'm going to assign Rajesh. So we have created one more new user called executive, and that role is reporting to Delata Manager, and now we have assigned Rajesh to this particular role. So now if you go and check Rajesh, if you just refresh the page and see, if you see the role executive has been assigned to Delata. So this role is reporting to this role. So likewise that in that way only we have designed, correct? See here, Delanta executive is reporting to Delanta manager, and the Delanta manager is reporting to CEO. So this is how the structure is. So and for manager it is assigned to Ganesh, and Rajesh executive. So this role is reporting to this role. So Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh, correct? So Ganesh is in a superior role when compared to Rajesh. So whatever records created by Rajesh, it will be automatically shared to Ganesh. But already that is the case. Can you see here? Already whatever records created by Rajesh are being shared with Ganesh. Why? Because this is because of profile. At the profile level, Ganesh is having system admin, which is a superior profile, correct? And it has, for that particular object, it is view all and modify all is enabled. So even if you apply a superior role or not, by default, system administrators, I mean for Ganesh, he will have access to everything what Rajesh creates, correct? For now, so now what we'll have to do is we'll have to check whether this role hierarchy is working or not. As we have only two users, because maximum we can create only two users, right? So in real time, if you see in unlimited edition, there will be many users, so that a few will be system admin, and there will be more number of people with less system admin access, so that you could create different roles and assign different roles to different people who are not system admins, so that you would be able to check what is happening exactly. So now here in DevOrg, as we have only two users, one is actually system admin and we cannot do any changes actually. So what we are trying to do is, I'll change the role from now Ganesh is manager, right, and Rajesh is executive. So Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh. So whatever records created by Rajesh is automatically getting shared with Ganesh. Now what I'm doing is I'll change the role from I'll make Rajesh as manager and I'll make Ganesh as executive. So now Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh. I'm swapping the roles alone. So can you guess what will happen if I swap the role? Before that, let's say, before swapping the role, what is happening? Now, Ganesh is able to see everything. Why? Because Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh and also Ganesh is system administrator. Because of that, Ganesh is able to see everything. We are seeing it here, right? If we go and check Rajesh, Rajesh will be able to see only the records created by himself alone. Correct? So now what I'm saying is I'm swapping the role. I'm swapping the role of Ganesh and Rajesh. So edit. I'll make Ganesh as executive and I'll make Rajesh as manager. So now Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh. Rajesh is manager. Ganesh is executive. Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh. So Rajesh is in higher profile. So we have swapped the roles. So now can you guess what will happen? As Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh, Rajesh will be able to see everything. So whatever the records created by Rajesh, Rajesh will be able to see. Why? Because he is in superior role, correct? So now let's go and check for Rajesh. After making this role change, if we go and check, see here, automatically all the records created by Ganesh are shared with Rajesh, correct? Why? Because we have swapped the roles. In role, Rajesh is superior. Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh. So whomsoever is reporting to the higher authorities, that higher authority will have full access to all the records created by his subordinates. Okay, so our whatever roles which we did is working perfectly fine. But now when we Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh. Rajesh is the manager, so he is able to see all the records. Fine. But if we go and see now Ganesh also will be able to see everything. See here, Ganesh also will be able to see everything. But see here, Ganesh is executive and Rajesh is only manager. Ganesh is reporting to Rajesh, but still Ganesh is able to see everything. Why? It is because of the profile action. Okay, view all and modify all is enabled, correct? So because of that, everything is superseded. So still Ganesh will have access to everything. But in real time, if you create a role and provide access to any other people other than system administrators, then those people they would have access only to that kind of thing. Okay, here because we have only two users license account is only for two users. Because of that, we are able to see only this. Okay, now for next comes your manual sharing and sharing rules. For that, let me again swap the roles as the same way as manager and Rajesh as executive. So Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh. So in profile level also Ganesh is superior and in role level also Ganesh is superior to Rajesh. So Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh. So whatever records created by Rajesh, it would be visible only to Rajesh, and for Ganesh, it would be visible to both. After swapping the roles, if we come and see here, only the record created by Rajesh will be visible to Rajesh. Why? Because in role level, he is reporting to Ganesh. Ganesh is superior to Rajesh. Now, manual sharing. So now, see here.
Ganesh, I have a question.
Yeah,
The CEO will be able to see Rajesh record, right?
yeah. The CEO, if you assign this role to anybody, he would be able to he would be able to see all records. I mean, all the records created by Rajesh and Ganesh. Because Ga-
Everybody below, right?
Ganesh
All
is,
those.
because Ganesh is reporting to, sorry, Rajesh is reporting to Ganesh and Ganesh is
Yes.
reporting to the CEO, correct? So
Yes.
this CEO, he will have full access to both Ganesh and Rajesh records.
Okay.
Now we can create, we can assign that role also. We can assign this role also, but we have only two users, right? So that is the restriction actually. So we can assign to Ganesh also the same role. So now,
So without assigning roles to the CEO,
so now if you see the same only we will have. So we will not be able to see any changes actually. If we have one more user, okay, and for him if we assign this CEO, then we can check that third user, he will have access to fully both Ganesh and Rajesh records, he will be able to see. Okay. So this is about role hierarchy. Next comes your manual sharing. So manual sharing in the sense what I said, if you want to share a single record with a single user, it is actually manual sharing. So now uh, Ganesh is able to see everything, but Rajesh is able to see only the records created by him only because of role and profile restrictions. So now what Ganesh wishes to do is Ganesh is trying to share the records which he created. I mean the record Delanta. This was the record created by Ganesh, right? So he wishes to share this particular record with Rajesh. He wants to share this record alone with Rajesh. So now what he can do, if you go and check, now go inside that particular thing and you will have one option called sharing. Have you noticed before we started record level security, only there are three buttons: edit, delete, and clone alone were there. Now sharing has been button has been enabled. From where did this come? If you see, before we start, when we were seeing profile and permission set, that OWD was public read or write. I told right, for any object you create in Salesforce, by default the OWD would be public read or write. So as it was public, this button was not enabled. Why? Because it is by default it is public. It is visible to everyone. So now there is no use for you of other things, right? So once you make it as private only, all the other remaining things will come into effect, I told, right? So as we have made the OWD as private for this particular object, this button has enabled. So now Ganesh wishes to share this particular record with Rajesh. So click on sharing, and here it will have click on add. So whom do you want to share it with? Click on users. Now with which user you wish to share with, and I wish to share with Rajesh. So click on save. So and we can also provide whether what level of access, whether read only or read write. I wish to give only read only access, and let me check what happens exactly. So now what has happened, I have shared this particular record Delanta alone with Rajesh. This record alone has been shared with Rajesh. Now let's go and check what is happening when Rajesh logs in. Okay, when Rajesh logs in, if you see, now if you go and see here, this particular record has been shared with Rajesh. Okay, only read-only access will be given. If he tries to access, he will get the error message insufficient privileges because he has not been provided with that particular access. Okay, so the record has been shared. If you want to share any single record with any particular user, then you can go for manual sharing. Okay, fine. If it is a single record, you can using manual sharing. You can do. What if if you want to share a group of records? If there are 1 lakh records, manually sharing each and every record is not possible. So how to share a group of records? So if it is going to be a group of records with a group of users, then we will go for sharing rules. Correct. So before that, let's create few records to be shared with Rajesh. Okay, I have created few records. S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. I have created 6 records. These are created by Ganesh. So now, if Rajesh logs in receives, he would not be able to see. He would be able to see the record created by him and the record with which we have shared with him, only these 2 records. So now our intention is to share all these records, S1, S2, S3, S4, which we have created, these 6 records which we have created now. At a stretch, we want to share all this group of records with Rajesh. So how we are going to make it? Using sharing rules. So on the left side, just click on sharing settings. So we saw this sharing settings for OWD, right? So the same way, go there. Now first OWD will come. If you drill down, you will have sharing rules. Okay. Now it will take you to first all your standard objects will come. Next, if you drill down, our custom objects will start coming. So where's our custom object? Employee sharing rules. The second is our actual member employee. So click on new. So you have to give one name for this. Just give her a name. Next, you will have to select on based on which type you are going to share this particular record. So if you see here, first we are going to see with based on record owner or whether based on your criteria. So record owner in the sense whatsoever records created. For example, the records, the roles created by him should be shared with the same way. Or else you can give a condition also. Condition in the sense, if the email ID is equal to something, share the particular record with this thing. Or if the phone number is equal to this, share the particular record with the user. Like this condition, simple conditions also. If the employee name is Ganesh, share it with Dilanta. So like this conditions you can give. So in the next we are going to see about workflows approval process. Those are the features which Salesforce has given. So without going for coding itself, certain automated features we can make it happen in Salesforce. So there, when we see workflows, we would be seeing about how to give these conditions and all. So for now, let's give based on record owner. Okay. Now in this we have roles, public groups. So I'll tell what is a public group. There are 2 concepts called public group, email queues are there. So what is a public group? What is a queue? Everything in the next when we see workflows and approval process. This is a small concept. I will explain like custom settings, custom labels, custom metadata. These public groups, queues are simple things. It is more of like you create a group for in sending a message. If you wish to send a message to a group of users, what will you do? You will create a SMS group, assign all users to that particular group, and after which you will share that particular. You will send an SMS to. If you send an SMS to that particular group, all the members in that group will receive the message, right? The same way only public group is there. But queues is also same. But there is a slight difference between a queue and public group. So where, what is public group, what is queue, what is the significance, what is the difference, where will you use public group, where will you use queues, in which instances, in which scenarios you will go for queues, in which scenarios you will go for public groups. Everything I would be able to explain it in the next session when we are seeing about workflows and approval process, because there it would be, this would be used extensively. Okay. So now for now let's make it happen using roles. Okay. So roles. So whatever records, Ganesh is actually CEO, right? We have changed. So roles and roles. So whatever records created by CEO, just share it with what is the role of Rajesh? Delanta executive, right? So Delanta, so whatever records created by CEO, share it with executive. So who is CEO? Ganesh. Who is executive? Rajesh. So whatever records created by Ganesh, share it with Rajesh. That is what we are saying. With access, read only. So once you click on save, a JavaScript alert will pop up like uh, in the background. This sharing rules will be come into effect, and an email will come to you. Just click on OK. Okay, once you do this, automatically, if you go and check now, before this If you go and see Rajesh, he has access only to 2 records. So after this, after we have created this sharing rule, now if you go and check, see here, Rajesh has got access to all the records. If he tries to edit any particular record, he will have insufficient privileges. Why? Because we have given read-only access, right? So whatever, so all the records has been shared automatically and with read-only access. So this is about your sharing rules. Okay. So with this, record level security comes to an end. So this is all about your features, security and sharing features in Salesforce. How to control an application, starting from an application to the record which you are going to keep inside that application. Everything you can control using all these features. So this is how we control uh, applications, objects, fields, tabs, page loads, record types, records, everything. Okay. So